right, good morning, my fans, all subscribers in Princess channel. I love you all. For everyone every singular subscriber to this channel, you are most beloved. I love you. If I could see you in person, I'm going to give you a very deep shake, right handshake that is commensurate to all that you do, both those ones that are insulting, those ones that are contributing in a great deal to the growth of this community, and those ones that love us just for who we are, and those ones that also desires the best in their life. I love you all. Friends, enemies, everyone, you are always beloved. Thank you very much. I appreciate you for the time. I appreciate you for all you have done. You are the best of all. You are the best. And together we shall navigate the storm. The storm will not kick us down. We would be the one to overcome. In the middle of the crisis, in the middle of all that has befallen the grand ecosystem, the Lord would make a way of escape, so that in the very midst of the fracas, there will be a way out. This will not end you. Mark my word. The delay or the issues or the problems in the grand ecosystem will not end your career. Just put up your mind that God's purpose in everything will definitely come to pass. In the previous video that I just dropped this morning, I mentioned that I will be dropping and accompanying possible solutions to what the government is doing concerning the release of these funds to the beneficiaries. And I also say that we should ensure that the video goes viral. Do whatever you could do in your own little way that you could spread this possibly to the grant handlers to be able to receive this, and possibly if the government could also see it. This is a social media where information go viral. You don't just know how to do that. Once you kick it off out of your platform, it can go out like that, and then the YouTube algorithm, once it sees that it's what people are interested in, the algorithm by default also picks up that particular video and begins to recommend it to other persons, and that is how it goes on automatically until it gets to the hands of the people that needed to use it, which now is the action that we needed to take. All right, so having said that, there are solutions to these delay tactics that the government, if it is true that every necessary processes have been completed, but what is going on now are the delay tactics coming from the government. There are solutions, and that is, I want to give you not less than 10, 11, 12 possible solutions that the grant handlers can adopt, and also the government and the masses also can also adopt on this wise to ensure that there is a speedy disbursement. Number one, we should ensure to seek government engagement. All right, we should ensure to seek the engagement of the government. And what does that mean precisely? The grant handlers, when you talk about the grant handlers, these are the people that are fronting for us. They are the ones that brought this grant. The likes of Apostle Ken Nwakama, the likes of Mama Supreme, the likes of Theobarth himself. Those are the grant handlers. They should work with government representatives to address every misunderstandings or objections that they may have. It's quite so important. Working in synergy is very, very admirable. Nobody is an island. Work in synergy. Work with government representative to address every misgivings and misunderstanding within the systems, objections. Now, if the government says they want to slash the money to a certain amount, don't say, well, slash it. Don't say, well, as long as everybody gets, you can slash. There is supposed to be harmony. There is supposed to be coherence. There is supposed to be symphony. They are supposed to come up and defend their own side of the bargain. Tell them. Why should you slash? The more you can slash 200 to the point 200,000 to the point where it is useless. In fact, if you slash, give somebody 200,000 now. If you give a beggar 200,000, he could thank you, but eventually, he can. What have I used it to buy? Because a bag of rice is more than 100,000. So how long would he use it? And how many more hungry mouths are also there waiting? You see, so there should be a sought after government engagement. That is number one. Number two, there should be a public advocacy and awareness. Did you hear that right? There should be a public advocacy and awareness. Please bear with me. I'm going to list those points and I'm going to iterate some of them in case this video gets too long than necessary. Please just bear with me. We're just trying to see how much of this evil within the grant ecosystem can be alleviated, and then we get to a place where all of us can smile together. So there should be a public advocacy and awareness. In other words, there should be a spread of accurate information about the grants to counter any misinformation and reinforce trust within the community. There should be public advocacy and awareness. Spread accurate information about the grant. This would help to counter-attack any misinformation and reinforce trust within this same grant ecosystem. If you know that the pillar of trust within the grant ecosystem has dilapidated so badly, the pillar of trust has gone down so badly. So, trust is a major issue, a serious issue, because most of the grant handlers who had been in session have not given reasons for people to trust them anymore. You will arouse people's confidence, arouse their imaginations, their curiosity that there is money for you to get, but before you know, you bring down you put me on high alert, and just in a few moments you drop me down without a sorry. It just disappear into thin air. For what? Kai. So the level of trust and confidence that should exist within the ecosystem has drastically dwindled down over time. And you see that majority of the influencers that have spoken, look at the likes of Jennifer Isaac, the likes of Ngwara Chukwu, the likes of Akpan Basi and the rest of them, who were they were in a high spirit because they knew that they talked with the people that matters. They knew that this fund was there. They knew that the money was there, but the way the money disappeared, or the money was not being spoken against or spoken about anymore, it was to the surprise of all of them. And they had to keep quiet. They had to shut up. Why? Because what they felt, what they advocated for was no more, it appears like it's no more in session. So they had to keep quiet. But you see, there should be a rebuilding of trust. And that advocacy should be sought after. That is the second point. The third point, there should be prayer, a unified prayer and support. In fact, this is supposed to be the first agenda. There should be a unified prayer and support. We should encourage the beneficiaries to come together in faith. This will reinforce collective hope and also patience. Prayer can never be what you should leave off in cases like this, because there are things that people will not want to do ordinarily, but there is a force of prayer that comes to people that do wickedly, or that are sluggy or slacky or sluggish. Prayer comes to put them back in pattern. You see, so there should be a unified prayer and support that is entrenched within the grant ecosystem. Number 4, there should be engagement with influential leaders. In other words, there should be an appeal to those with influence who may be able to help to expedite the approval process on behalf of grant beneficiaries. Did you hear that? Let this voice note go viral. Appeal to those that are in positions of power, that have influence. There are people that are actually more influential than others. They might be of assistance to expedite action on what has been approved, because with what we had, it is that approval has been granted. Every other necessary banking processes, stuff that needed to be completed, everything is done. But what we need now is speed. Processes have been approved, but there needs to be an action taken on the approval process. This is where we need influence. And that influence will now expedite action on the process of this delay so that everything can be restructured back to purpose. That's the fourth point. The fifth point, there should be a direct communication line with government officials, a direct linkage. There should be an organization of formal communication, a communication channel, or we need to appoint representatives that will consistently liaise with government officials. This can keep both the sides updated on any progress of issues, reducing misunderstandings and preventing unnecessary delays. This is quite sacrosanct. A direct communication line with government officials, and there should be a consistency of linkages that will keep the both sides updated on any progress or issues that will reduce misunderstanding or misgivings and will prevent unnecessary delays within this. So a formal communication should be embellished within the grant ecosystem. It's quite so important. Number 6 point, there should be a community mobilization and collective advocacy, which we've talked about before, but this time around, this should encourage beneficiaries and supporters of the grant to rally together in peaceful, organized ways, not scattered. And part of this might include petitions or requests for updates that demonstrate the significance of the grants to the community, and then will urge the prioritization by the government. This would help. Now, petition actually is not like an indictment. Petition is an appeal, a formal appeal to the government or to the influencers. That's the way I understood petition. Is a formal appeal, so that what was not being done or a decision taken in time against someone who's supposed to have been acquitted but was accused, so that there could be a redress in the way things were done. So that is how petition could be. And you only write petition when you feel that your right has been trampled. So there should be a community mobilization. This would encourage the beneficiaries and supporters of the grants of this particular UAG or Theobarth or the likes of them to rally together in peaceful, organized ways. This might include the request of petition for updates that would demonstrate the significance of the grants majorly to the community, and then urge that prioritization by the government. As at now, they are not prioritizing anything. All they want now is the infrastructures. Yes, we need infrastructures, but not at the expense of the hungry people. The seventh one, there should be a media outreach and public relations efforts. Is quite so important. If possible, we should collaborate with local media outlets to cover the grants, if possible, or to cover the potential positive impact of the grant on the populace. And then we highlight how the funds could uplift the entire community, potentially pressuring government bodies to address the issues with what? With astute urgency. It's important. A media outreach should be in place. A public relation effort should be in place. This would help and impact on the potential benefits of what this grant can do to the community and the grassroots. It will definitely address the issue. It will. The number 7 point, I hope I'm right, whether 7 or 8 now, is there should be transparent updates and community meetings. Transparent updates. There should be the hosting of regular virtual or in-person meetings to keep the grant recipients informed of any progress. It's very important. Progress updates are very important. Transparency and consistency updates will prevent rumors and also maintain the community trust as we're trying to build back. So there should be transparent updates and community meetings. Is very, very important. All right. The 9th point there is that we should strengthen partnerships with non-governmental organizations. That's the NGOs. There should be collaboration with other NGOs or charity foundations that have successfully navigated this similar ordeal or situations in time past. Their experience and additional advocacy could also help to push the grants through bureaucratic hurdles at this time. Yes, experience matters a lot. Despite the fact that no grant, it appears like no grant within Nigeria that has survived this harsh situation. They always come and fail. They come and fail. But looking beyond the shores and the borders of this country, there are grants that were disbursed in our other African countries. And they saw the light of the day. Other African countries, Libya, Ghana, Equatorial, and the rest of them like that, you know. There were grants that were disbursed. The time that people were running a helter-skelter concerning Therapicom, same, other grants were being disbursed in other African countries. And people have even finished it. But in Nigeria, there is a syndrome. The corruption is in the DNA. But even corruption has its own master. There should be a way to fight corruption to a standstill. You see, so there should be a sought after partnerships with other NGOs, a collaboration with other charity foundations that have successfully navigated this ordeal in time past. In similar situations like this, their experience could also mean a lot. Additional advocacy could help to push the grants through this experience. It's a bureaucratic hurdles. It's a terrible bureaucratic hurdles, and the collaboration from these outside forces can also help to mitigate this. The 10th point there is that there should be an internal readiness and education programs for beneficiaries. It's also good. This waiting period, this waiting season should be used to prepare beneficiaries for receiving and effectively managing their funds. Yes, I know that some of our channels actually do this. Once in a while, they post some security measures that could help people by the time the fund lands. It's quite so important. But sometimes it also includes financial literacy programs or empowerment workshops, so that once disbursement finally happens or occurs, the recipients of these grants can be, they can be positioned and ready to use the grant in a very wise manner. The 11 points I'm going to raise here is that there should be a monitoring and accountability mechanisms. A monitoring and accountability mechanisms. This should be a way to encourage the establishment of monitoring groups to ensure that the funds, once it is released, they are distributed fairly and they reach the intended beneficiaries without further delays or mismanagement. It has not been disbursed now. It is still, we're on the same plane. But you see, it will be too bad if after people have waited and the grant is disbursed and some get and some did not get. So what's the essence of waiting? Or if it has been earmarked that these are the people that is going to get and you don't know, it's just like when certain people are doing promo and they say, okay, you get involved in the promo, but the people that are going to be picked have been selected from Adam. You say, but you didn't know. You participated in the event and you wasted your time, wasted your energy, burnt your data, and eventually nothing comes to you after all. It's an exercise in futility. So there should be a monitoring and accountability mechanisms so that by the time the fund is finally disbursed, the fund sharing will be fair and it will reach the intended beneficiaries without delay or mismanagement. Number 12 point. We talked about petition before. It can be online. It doesn't have to be physical. It can be an online petition to gain wider support. You know, once it goes viral and you will utilize the social media and the petition platforms to gather signatures and also support for the grant's release, it will amplify the voices of those that are in need. Our voices are dull. Our voices have been hacked. See, they say a poor man has no voice, but you can reignite passion in your voice. So there should be a widespread support that can signal urgency and legitimacy to the government officials. It's quite so important. This has been abandoned. Not just coming on channel and sharing hope and say, we believe, don't worry, it's going to come to pass yet, but no action is being taken. You can stay in that concrete wilderness for donkey years, and yet God will still be just. The last point I'm going to raise here, I've raised it before, but I'm going to still dwell on it now. We should stay committed to prayers and positive affirmations. Is quite so important. We should remind the community to remain very hopeful and positive. This will be a strong collective faith that can reinforce morale and patience, and it will create a more resilient community, building back the trust that have been collapsed over years due to greed, due to incontinencies, due to the fierceness of corruption. Prayer, commitment in prayers and positive affirmations can restore the dilapidated walls, the broken walls, and maintaining synergy back. So I want to believe that combining these strategies can strengthen the push for disbursement. It can also foster resilience within the economy or the community and build a foundation of trust and hope. And that which we expect in no sooner time, go over this voice note over and over again. Let it get to the grant handlers. Let it get to the influencers. Let it get to the people that matters. And we can together build a force, a formidable force, undeniable and indestructible oneness that can foster the release of this grant, especially because of the crying masses, because of the downtrodden, the people that really needs it. They are the grassroots. Even if I don't get, that's all right. I'm not pushing for me to get. I'm only pushing for people that really need these funds to get. They should get. They should breathe well. They should be fine. I'm sorry if this video has taken this long, and I appreciate you if you have taken time out to stay on and on from the beginning to the end of the drop-ins. The Lord bless you. If you have found this video very interesting, share it so that it can go around, and the people that needs to hear it to take action should do that. If you are new to this channel, this is what we do. We drop information concerning grants available. We drop information concerning cryptocurrency. We drop information concerning other financial matters that could earn you financial stability. And if you wouldn't be weary of us, smash that subscribe button so that anytime we drop a notification, you'll be the first to receive it. Thank you, and I wish you a very lovely